It's Christmas time, and we are introduced to a young woman, Stacy, a taxidermist, who is dancing and waiting for her food to heat up while watching TV. She switches channels between cosmetic advertisements and food review shows. Suddenly, as she is enjoying a lovely steak and chicken for dinner, she hears a noise from the basement and goes to investigate, thinking it might be someone intruding. She carries an axe for her safety and climbs down the stairs. Being a taxidermist, she has lots of taxidermied animals in her basement. After searching around the house and failing to find anyone, she calls her husband, a mustachioed cop, Keith, for help. However, he doesn't take it seriously, as Stacy always hears noises that don't exist. Keith believes that she often imagines things, as she wants an intruder to barge inside their house and harass her. Stacy has become that desperate for a good, intimate session. The next day at her workplace, Stacy overhears her coworker Gina gossiping with her friends. She is also applying some kind of lotion to look pretty. This makes Stacy pretty envious, as she desires to be beautiful like Gina. The latter talks about their manager being a lesbian and makes fun of her appearance. All this time, Stacy feels ignored and is bound to accept that she does not belong to the group. But later that evening, she receives an unexpected invitation to Gina's secret Santa party. She cannot believe that the group of beautiful girls have finally accepted her. Later, Stacy goes hunting, shoots a duck, and decides to turn it into a present for Gina through taxidermy. Well, she's gonna love that. As she is busy preparing the duck, Keith returns home and asks her about the day. Stacy excitedly shares that she has been invited to a party. Hearing this, Keith gets confused, as he knows his wife dislikes women like Gina. However, Stacy explains that she wants to explore Gina's house's interior and wants to feel what living in an extravagant house feels like. Next, it is night, and it's party time. Stacy grabs the present and heads to Gina's house. As she reaches the entrance, she gets mesmerized by its decoration and beauty. Following this, Stacy rings the bell and nearly gets attacked by Gina's aggressive dog. But soon, Gina opens the door and welcomes her. Inside the house, one of Gina's friends talks about hiring an escort to have some fun. She explains that she recently got divorced, as her ex-husband couldn't satisfy her. Surprisingly, other women cheer her on and begin making funny comments about their husband's physical attributes.
Aha! He's such a small pee-pee loser.
After a while, the group switches to discussing fillers, and Gina recommends her plastic surgeon for facelifts, something Stacy can't relate to. Later, Gina mentions the party theme, the not-so-secret Santa, and distributes the gift hampers to everyone. This makes Stacy a bit sad, as she had expected it to be a secret Santa theme. Meanwhile, the girls open their gifts and find expensive makeup kits, including the lotion that Gina was using. In return, Stacy also presents the duck that she prepared. Unfortunately, this disgusts all the other girls, and they start gossiping about her. To break the awkwardness, Gina asks everyone to try on the lotion and feel the smoothness. All the women agree, including Stacy, as she doesn't want to be left out. The next scene shows all the women excessively using the lotion all over their bodies. It appears that they have been possessed. However, when Stacy uses some of it on her face, it turns completely red, indicating that she has an allergy. Feeling frustrated, she borrows an ice pack from Gina and decides to leave the party. When Stacy reaches home, Keith notices her bruised face and advises her against using such lotions. However, she expresses her desire to feel sexy and attractive and curses herself for having sensitive skin. Keith tries to cheer her up with his mustache, but to no avail. Later that night, Stacy finds herself restless and unable to sleep. She keeps scratching her skin and wakes up to see its condition in the mirror. As she gazes at her reflection, the lotion tube mysteriously opens by itself and begins squirting out the cream. Afterward, Stacy turns on the TV and suddenly an ad for the same lotion pops up. It encourages the viewers to change their lives by using the lotion. To Stacy's surprise and confusion, the TV presenter, a muscular man named Harry, starts interacting with her. He urges her to apply the lotion on her face right now. Stacy mentions having allergic skin, but Harry replies that every change requires some pain and determination. He then convinces Stacy to call the given number and order more lotion. The following day, before Keith wakes up, Stacy receives the delivery from the lotion company and hides it in the basement. Later, her husband notices that her appearance has worsened and tries to reason with her, suggesting she stop using the lotion. However, Stacy is so brainwashed by Harry that she dismisses his concern, being fixated on the idea of the lotion transforming her beauty. After this, she continues her lotion routine, watching its advertisements day and night. However, this obsession takes a toll on her, and she begins to scratch her body uncontrollably, even in her sleep. Keith remains worried worried and advises her to stop, emphasizing the harmful effects. His mustache is worried too. One night, when Stacy scratches a lot, Keith suggests she put on oven mitts. The latter agrees to do it, but when she goes to the kitchen to get the mitts, an unexpected thing happens. The TV turns on by itself, and Harry appears. He begins talking to Stacy and mocks her lack of trust. Harry says that she is a coward who isn't willing to try new things. After this, he suddenly vanishes, leaving her unsettled. Stacy begs him to return, and surprisingly, Harry appears once again, flaunting his shiny muscles. He tells her that the pain she is feeling is much less than being ignored and ostracized by the group. Eventually, Harry tantalizes her with the idea of a new version of herself if she uses more lotion. Driven by the illusion of a better self developing inside her, Stacy rushes to the basement to follow Harry's instructions. To her surprise, she encounters a mess as all the lotion tubes in the box opened up by themselves and leak in front of her, creating a chaotic scene. Panicking, she hurries back to her room, seeking comfort and safety in her husband's arms. Stacy also pleads with Keith to stay home the next day to support her, but he sadly admits that he cannot. Meanwhile, the lotion continues to flow out of the box and forms a lump of smelly goo, creating an ominous atmosphere in the room. The next day, when Stacy looks at herself in the mirror, she notices something strange happening to her skin. It starts shedding like the scales of a mermaid. Despite the horrifying sight, Stacy feels a sense of excitement, convinced that this transformation will make her truly beautiful and desirable. Later, when Keith returns home, he lovingly offers her something to eat, but Stacy is too engrossed in peeling off her skin instead of responding. Oblivious to the disturbing changes in her appearance, she seems fixated on her new quest for beauty and being accepted into the group. After a while, she comes downstairs, but requests Keith not scold or criticize her. Eventually, the husband agrees, and Stacy joins him, but when Keith sees her infected body, he becomes deeply concerned and urges her to see a doctor immediately. Worried about her well-being, he tries to reason with her, expressing genuine care and love. However, Stacy interprets his concern as a lack of support and becomes defensive, rejecting the idea that she might be having an allergic reaction. To calm her down, Keith offers her food and tells her that she is beautiful from the inside and he loves her a lot. However, these words hurt Stacy, and with the desire to transform her outer self, she storms off to the basement to get more lotion. There, she is met with a shocking sight. A mysterious figure has taken form from the lotion in the box. When Stacy walks closer, the figure mirrors her every movement in a creepy and unsettling manner. Stacy is both amazed and disturbed by this surreal encounter. The bizarre interaction escalates further as the two bodies hold hands, share a kiss, and even embrace each other, implying a merging of identities. With this, Stacy's transformation seems to be reaching a critical point, and she feels almost obsessed with the idea of becoming someone else entirely. In her altered state of mind, Stacy grabs a knife and approaches Keith, who is now more alarmed than ever, seeing her soaked in lotion. Despite his desperate attempts to remind her of her true self, Stacy remains convinced that her transformation is near completion. In a terrifying turn of events, when Keith urges her to stop using the lotion, she stabs him in the forehead. With blood oozing from his forehead, Keith becomes delusional and panics. He tries to make an emergency call using his radio and asks Stacy to bring a towel. However, the latter's actions become even more sinister. Instead of bringing a towel, she attacks her own husband from behind with her axe multiple times, coldly and brutally ending his life. Now, fully consumed by her madness, Stacy is drawn back to the lotion figure, which has now filled her bathtub with the mysterious lotion for her. Following the signal, Stacy removes her clothes and dips her naked body into the tub, feeling a strange pleasure tingling through her. In this chilling and dark moment, it becomes evident that Stacy has descended into a realm of insanity, where her obsessions and desires have taken control of her entirely. After submerging herself in the slimy lotion-filled bathtub, Stacy emerges from the bathroom, her face now free from rashes. She stands before the mirror in her bedroom, astonished by the beautiful reflection she sees. She then peels off the lotion, revealing beautiful and glowing skin. Excited about her transformation, she runs downstairs to show Keith, but shows no remorse when she realizes she has killed him. Instead, she disposes of his body in the basement and begins to perform taxidermy on him. Afterward, Stacy decides to change her appearance further, cutting her own hair, applying makeup differently, and adopting a whole new wardrobe style. This drastic transformation alters not only her looks, but also her attitude, leaving her satisfied with her new self. The following morning, Stacy heads to work after saying goodbye to her taxidermied husband, kept on the couch. At the workplace, her presence causes a stir, as all heads turn toward her when she enters the bank. Even her coworkers, who had previously ignored her, are now fascinated by her appearance. They shower her with praise, marveling at her amazing skin. In the last scene, during a gossip session, Stacy engages in mean-spirited discussions about their colleagues and their husbands' appearances. She says that her husband got a stiffy and couldn't stop. The group of women decides to hang out for dinner and drinks, and they become increasingly touchy and affectionate with Stacy, admiring her new looks. The story ends with Stacy mysteriously rising into the air, and her laughter conveying a mix of emotions: confusion, accomplishment, happiness, fulfillment, and anxiety. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.